All right, welcome to another episode of the Bulldog Bark. I'm yours truly, the Guru. With me today, I got Michael D. Rosa in the building and Kyle, the Butler fan. BFC, Butler's fighting crew, could not be with us today. But, okay, boys, so, we had that nice 3-game winning streak and then followed that up with a really poor performance at St. John's, lost by 22. I think a lot of us don't – St. John's is a better team, I think, and we don't match up well. I mean, I wish we played better, but I think a lot of us might have seen that coming. And then the really disappointing performance was Butler's first kind of bad loss, quote unquote bad loss, their first Q3 loss of the season to Georgetown at home on Saturday, 77-64. Just not a game you could afford when you kind of had to be perfect if you wanted to try and make a push, to the right side of the bubble. But so kind of shoots Butler out of the picture. You'd have to make some sort of crazy miracle run, and you have to include like wins against UConn and stuff, and that's obviously like 5% chance or something like that. Like it's not happening. So, the good thing is that I could promise you boys that we're gonna get an at-large to the Big East tournament, and that's where we could definitely get. If we win that, we're in the NCAA tournament, so that's still available to us. But anyway, yeah, let's recap that. And then this week, we got Providence. We got 2 more Q2 games coming up. We got at Providence, who we beat earlier in the season, in a pretty thrilling game. It'll be the battle of no defenses. We beat them 113-110 in Hinkle in double OT. Providence is currently last in the Big East, which is crazy to say out loud considering the hype they got before the season. I'm sure Jason Edwards will come out of nowhere for some reason and just lights up for 50. He's been out for a while. Any clue if he's coming back?
No,
I haven't heard anything. Yeah, I haven't heard anything either. Okay. But they play at Providence on Wednesday. Again, I would take the over, whatever it is. It can't be enough. And then they play at Marquette, I believe, on Saturday. Is that Saturday?
Yeah.
Saturday, yeah. At Marquette on Saturday. Again, beat both those teams in Hinkle. But obviously, the road is a different beast. Although I might start thinking that Butler might just be a better road team because we just do not play well in Hinkle, like ever. Michael, I'll pass to you first. Kind of give us your thoughts. You can combine the St. John's and Georgetown game into kind of one. But what were your thoughts in the past week as the Dogs dropped two in a row here?
Yeah, the St. John's game is the first Butler game in a while that I've turned off before it ended. Like that one was over really quickly. The thing for me, I think the common theme across these 2 games, what I noticed is, man, this is the most selfish our team has played in a long time. There wasn't a ton of off-ball movement like at all offensively. And I mean, just in the St. John's game, we had 9 assists on 24 made field goals. It's not great, but like, yeah, actually, no, scratch that. That's bad, especially for a team like Butler that is really a lot of the offense. It kind of thrives on kicking and then getting open shots that way. And against Georgetown, it was, Butler ended up having 15 assists, which is actually pretty good considering how many shots they made. But in the second half, it went so much ISO ball. Like Georgetown was just trying to really force them into doing ISOs, and Butler wasn't moving the ball well at all. Like when we would break, Georgetown went to that 1-2-2-1-3-1, that weird like junkie press they went to, right? The ball being embedded to the left side, and the 2 times Butler was able to skip the ball to the opposite side was when Fosa got that reverse dunk where he went like that. I thought he actually played a very good game. And then Kaiser hit that corner 3. That was it. Other than that, the ball just stayed on the same side of the court. It went to Ajayi. Ajayi would ISO in the mid post, and he was going at KJ Lewis. And that's Georgetown's best defender. Or you're going straight at the rim protection of Vincent Uchukwu, who is one of the conference's best rim protectors. It was like really unselfish. That's just not how you beat this Georgetown team. And then on the other end, in the same Georgetown game, Butler would blitz the screens. And KJ Lewis even said this in the little like presser, he not press conference, but like in the little like TNT crew like interviewed him. They were like, yeah, what was like something you guys looked at? It was like, yeah, we knew that they were really gonna blitz the ball screen, so we just wanted to have quick passes and we knew we were gonna be open. That's what happened. That's what happened. It was quick passes. They were wide open. Georgetown hit 11 threes. Was it 11 or it was 10 threes? Okay, they hit 10 threes. Georgetown has hit 10 threes in a millennium. Yeah, these 2 games were really frustrating. Like St. John's was a bad matchup, but like we just came out like just kind of ready to lose that one. Played really selfish, and I thought in the Georgetown game the number of assists per made field goals doesn't really show it, but I really thought they were really selfish in this one too. That was the part that really disappointed me the most.
Yep. No, I definitely agree. Kyle, how about you, man?
Yeah, I'd say that the thing that frustrated me the most about the Georgetown game, and to hit on the St. John's game, yeah, there's stuff you can nitpick at. I think St. John's is better than us, but I think that they're also hitting their stride right now. I think that they're turning in. I don't think they're turning into, nor do I think they are the national contend championship contender some people thought they were at the beginning of the year. I mean, if we remember, they were ranked 5 in the AP poll to start the year, and they like I don't think they're that team. I don't think they're a national championship contending team. Like people genuinely thought to start the year, but they're really good and they're a top 25 team and they're hitting their stride right now. Um, and absolutely contending for the best team in the conference. We'll see when UConn and St. John's play, but I think that that was a game that it was over right when it started. I mean, it was we made a few plays, but that game, whatever. Like it's kind of like to me, it was outmatched, erased from your memory and go on. The Georgetown game, I think that Georgetown definitely hits some shots. Like you have to just tip your cap to Georgetown in that sense that they hit shots that Georgetown team hasn't been hitting. A lot of the threes, and yes, they were 10 for 20. A lot of the makes were not horribly uncontested. Like there were some definite just great shot making on the Georgetown side, but to me, it's and this has unfortunately been a theme. The players that they want to get to are getting the ball in the spots that they want, that Georgetown wanted them to get the ball. Like KJ Lewis was getting the ball on 10 toes down, like 10 toes, gets the ball, drops in, gets a screen. He's open one dribble for a three, or he goes to the hole and then someone's open. Like he said, quick passes. And then also just the reluctance to, I don't want to say they don't have to front. I don't know what. I'm not a defensive head coach. I'm not a X's and O's guy, but it was obvious. And this is no slight to Drayton Jones. Genuinely, Vince Iwuchukwu has impressed me this season, like very much so. Impressed me at Hinkle on Saturday. I thought he was genuinely one of the best bigs I've seen at Hinkle this year, if not like the best, as far as just the way they played in that game. But it was obvious after a couple times that when he got the ball in the post and when he got the ball down low, it was not going to work one-on-one, and they kept letting it be one-on-one, and that allowed for wide open shooters, that allowed for Vince Iwuchukwu to have a lot of easy baskets. The lack of adjustments really frustrated me. It frustrated me offensively too, the lack of adjustments in like Michael said, the lack of swinging the ball, and I just feel like the extra pass, even not on the sets that Michael was talking about, and those are true and good examples, but there were a lot of times that they had the ball in the fast break and they just didn't make the extra pass. I mean, I and again, I think that there is no issue with selfishness. Well, I don't well, I'm not saying I do think there was an issue with selfishness in general in this game. One that I want to call out, and I don't think it's an instance of him thinking, I need to get my stats. I need to be selfish. I just think I don't understand a lot of times there wasn't an extra pass open. I mean, this is the glaring example and everybody talks about it. And promise I'm not trying to pick on him because he's won us games this season and his effort is fantastic. But Finley Bizjack got an offensive rebound and went up with a floater that, with all due respect to him and his floater game, which is quite good, was blocked handily. That shot was never getting off. And that's one thing if the shot clock is winding down or nobody's open. But the shot clock wasn't winding down at reset to 20, and Jamie Kaiser was 10 feet in front of him, as wide open can be for a 10 toes three. And that to me, and I don't want to pick on Finley because there were a lot of examples of that, of just passes that could have been made and they just weren't. And that goes to Michael's point about the selfishness. I think there was a lack of, I think, and I hate to say this against Ed Cooley, who every game I watch him, I just think he's not that great. At least recently, I used to have a very high opinion of Providence. And when you go back and watch those games, I think there's good stuff he does. But we were out game plan. They had a better game plan, and we didn't adjust to their game plan. And that's just really frustrating, knowing that you're as talented as that team. And you're at Hinkle, and it's a game that you needed to win. It was just demoralizing to me. I know a lot of Butler fans feel that way. So
Yep. And not to again, Finley's won us tons of games. There's another one where I just remember on like a fast break, he got fouled and ended up making the free throws, but he could have like lobbed it straight up to Kai, like or just dumped it on Kaiser. It would have been an easy two, and like took it up. And again, he made the free throws, so it was all good. But I agree. One thing I'll point out, and I know, like, I want to be very clear. Like, I'm not saying Jalen Jackson wins us all these games. Like, I want to be very clear with that. I do think that a game like this is one, and the reason I point this out is because Stink had a pretty rough game. And so, like, when we won those 3 games against Seton Hall, DePaul, and Marquette, he had 5 assists, 4 assists. 14 points, 13 points, 8 points against St. John's. And he's had foul trouble the past 2 games too. Stink has. St. John's 6 points, 0 assists. Georgetown 18 minutes, 0 points, 1 assist. Like we talk about like the selfishness and stuff like that. Like we don't. I do think a game like Georgetown against those like lower half teams, I do think Jalen Jackson would make a difference. Especially offensively when we go cold like that, just having a senior leader to settle the team down a little bit. So, I mean, to that point, again, no surprise, Seton Hall, DePaul, and Marquette, we scored a ton of points because we had a point guard dishing out assists, and that's good, right? And then clearly that's nothing against Stink. He's a freshman. He's going to have ups and downs. Like that's just the nature of the game. But I mean, I'm not saying it solves defense or anything, but I do think that that's a scenario where you kind of do wish you had a senior leader to kind of like run the point because Foles is not a point guard and he had to play most of that game. He played well, but like he's not a point guard. I don't know. I felt like getting into the offense a little bit was kind of tough sometimes. Maybe makes guys, want to do that one-on-one stuff more. But I agree with you guys though. I mean, there was one time where I looked and literally we had Ajayi going ISO on the baseline and 4 guys just standing at the 3, not moving, not a single movement, not a single cut, just standing there. I was like, move. Even if you're not doing anything, fake cut. I don't care. Do something. Get like your guy off of you. But the lack of movement. I mean, the defense we could go on and on about, but I mean, it's it pretty much like I said earlier, pretty much. Butler's metrics absolutely tanked after that one. Down 10 plus in KenPom and net and everything like that. Because that was our first. That's our first. Even though we got spanked a couple others, that's our first Q3 or Q4 loss. That was a Q3 loss. So just really disappointed. I mean, it's no other way to say that. We all are just really disappointing. It sucks. We're all huge fans, and you're just kind of sad and apathetic at some point because it just feels like the same story. I was going to post a stat here soon about like our net rankings after we come out. Do you know even last year we were 47th in net after non-conference?
Yeah,
and we lost. We literally lost to Austin Peay and North Dakota State. Like we are actually the biggest non-conference merchants of all time. Like every year we are like really high in net and stuff when we leave non-conference, and the Big East adjustments aren't made. Like
it's hard to and again, it's more complicated than this, but it's really hard to look past the fact that the Big East, more so than other conferences even, is a conference that it is the same 11 teams and they play each other twice a year. And and you don't have to game plan for, if you're in the Big Ten, you don't have to game plan for 17 other teams. You don't have to think about 17 other teams. There's 10 teams and you play them all twice. And the coaches know each other. I think we all know because of Big East Twitter, and I think it carries over to the court in a way. These coaches and teams are intimately familiar with what each other want to do. And it is an indictment. It's just an indictment when you have been playing well against teams that don't know you as well in the non-conference, teams that some teams, Boise State and Northwestern, happen to know us because we've been playing them. They game plan for us pretty decent compared to some people like Virginia and South Carolina. Those teams didn't know us, and we beat them handily. And then you go into the conference, and they know what Thad Matta wants to do. They know what the offense is, and we're getting exposed. And it's the harsh reality of the fact that we're getting exposed by coaches that know what we want to do and are familiar with us.
That's for me why I never got like super high on this team, was just because we've seen this movie over and over again, right? It's like, okay, you need to prove to me it's something different. And just looking at the Ken Pomeroys, I don't know if you guys know what that is.
Ken?
Yeah, Ken Pomeroy.
Kenny?
Yeah, Ken Pom. Just like in conference play, it's the same thing every year. The best defense Butler's had, just ranking wise in conference play, was Thad's first year. They were eighth. Every other year they've been ninth. I believe it's nine. I literally just had it in front of me. Yeah, they were ninth in 24. 25, they finished ninth as well. And then this year, they are the 10th best defense in conference play this year. It's just been the same story every year that like teams just know how to beat us, whether it's just not the same physicality, whether it's this, whether it's that. It's been the same story every year. And at some point, it just becomes you instead of just a fluke. Like
Yeah.
this is us.
Yeah. And a lot of, I mean, we already knows this story. I mean, just off the top of my head, this year, I mean, last year felt like the funny story of last year is like Butler will probably win more games this year just because we won what four last we won six last year.
We won 6. We're already at 4. We'll win.
I'd have to imagine we win maybe 7 or 8 this year in the Big East. But even that said, like you look at like Northwestern's a good example this year. They're 10-12 and they're ahead of us in KenPom because they lose every game by like 2. And I felt like that was like Butler last year. Like we lost so many games down the stretch or blew second half leads. And you're right, Michael. That's an indictment. So many times last year we had that, tied at half. We already talked about it earlier this year, tied at half or, down by a bucket or even up at half. I mean, same story this year. Up against SMU, lost. Up against Villanova, lost. Tie game against St. John's, lost. Boise State was like a 2-point game, lost. Even this game, a 4-point game. That's basically a tie game, more or less, lost. Like, just we just rarely. I mean, DePaul obviously we won the second half, but like I'm talking like any team that has a pulse, like we just don't make the right adjustments. And I again, I mean, I think you guys know me. I definitely wanted Mata back for a 4th year because I wanted to make sure that I want continuity. Like I think that continuity in a program is important. You can look at a Utah State and say, cool, like they got like new coaches every year and they continue to do well, but like I don't think that that's the recipe for success. So I really wanted this Mata thing to work out. I mean, I did. Like it's best for the program, in my opinion, because he wasn't going to go anywhere. And I just really wanted it to work. But at this point, I mean, we have to start. I mean, it's just this is year 4. I'll give him a break year 1. I would have even gave him a break this year if we were like, a bubble team to the very end, maybe. Just with the loss of Jalen Jackson stuff. If we were like right in the bubble at the end, I'd still probably even give him like. At this point, it's looking like we're falling off a cliff a little bit. So it'll be interesting to see what happens this offseason. I mean, I'm not going to – I'll let you guys speculate. What do you – I mean, I guess if – let's put a hypothetical scenario. Let's say that Butler does decide to move on, which, I believe Thad's on his 4 years. So, we'll see. Where do you boys think or where would you want to see – Butler go with a coaching hire this offseason if that ends up being the thing?
So
yeah, go ahead, Michael.
Okay. So first when Mata before Mata took the job, the name I heard most was John Gross at Akron. Mata kind of, I mean, I don't want to say it like came out of nowhere because it was almost immediately, but like John Gross was the name I heard the most. So I'm assuming he's going to be up there. Travis Steele went here and his team is undefeated right now. They go to Buffalo tomorrow. They could lose that one, but for now they are undefeated. Like that's going to be a name we hear a lot.
Imagine losing to Buffalo. Can you guys think of any teams that have lost to Buffalo?
No one loses to Buffalo. Surely not. Micah Shrewsbury, if he ends up getting let go from Notre Dame, he was a Brad Stevens assistant, right? Like just. When is the last time Butler went outside the family to make a hire? It's been a while.
Listen, the whole outside the family thing. I'm not going to close my mind to the fact that there are good coaches that have Butler ties that we could get. I'm going to judge if we do move on, which I find it hard to believe there's a way back from Mata at this point. I just do. We'll see. I mean, you never say never that he'll be back until the notification is gone that he's gone. But I find it hard to believe that there'll be a way back. I guess it's just like I'll believe they truly go outside the family when I see them do it. Because they haven't for however when's the they just don't Butler doesn't do real national coaching searches. I'd love them to. That's the one thing I'd urge. The one thing I'd urge is if you end up hiring somebody that you're comfortable with, okay. If that's what you think the best hire is, I don't know how they'll prove it, and I guess it's not fair to ask to. But if there's a coaching search this offseason, just open. The only thing I would urge the department to do is keep your mind open, bring in some guys for interviews that you don't know, and keep your mind open to the possibility that there's someone that you don't know that could be best for the program. If they end up hiring a Travis Steele it wouldn't be bad. I wouldn't hate it. I wouldn't mind that hire, but that's an quote. I mean, I don't know for a fact he'd take the job, but if they do hire Travis Steele, one of the narratives that's going to be is that's an easy hire. I'm not saying that it would be, but that would be a narrative. Just do your homework and see if you can find some guys that wouldn't be easy hires and at least give them a look. That's all I'd ask.
I mean, the best head coach we've had is Holtman, and yes, he was an assistant that was elevated. So to your point, like if we felt there was someone in the program that should be elevated, and like Holtman didn't obviously have any Butler ties other than being an assistant coach, so like I'd be okay with that. But just like looking at our current like crop, like that's just not something that I see. I agree. I mean, I'd love to see us go outside the Butler tree. I think it's like, again, if it's Steele would probably be the one that I'd be okay with. But I've heard a lot of people talk about Norred and whatnot, and like, I mean, he's never coached college basketball, guys. Like, I mean, I'm sorry, and I love him. I love him so much, and I do. Like, he is like a Butler legend, and I love everything he represents. And this is like no disrespect to him at all, but he's not like a sexy hire. Like he would be like a very safe hire. It would be like and I understand the viewpoint from the university or from the program where like you want to make sure that you have those Butler ties for like money. I get that. Like I could see a scenario where maybe someone like Norred could in a world like raise more money just because of his connections, but I could also see a scenario where people are bored of that hire. So like that ends up being like a backfire thing.
For me personally with Norred, the one thing I would say is, first of all, it's kind of a cool tidbit about him randomly he went straight to, I don't know how many people do this. He went straight to being a high school head coach right after he graduated from college, which is kind of crazy. Like who goes to be a head coach? But he was a head coach at Brownsburg High School for 2 years. And since then, he has been in the G League and the NBA. Other than 3 years with the Long Island Nets, it's been all assistant. He hasn't coached in college and he hasn't been an assistant coach. For me, it's honestly less the NBA, he hasn't been in college thing, and more so I just think in general, and yes, there are a few guys. Everyone talks about the UConn assistants for head coaching jobs, and there's a reason why. But like hire a guy who knows how to be a head coach.
It is actually the not being in college for me. He's been 1 year in college, and that was as an assistant at Northern Kentucky. Like recruiting is so much of it, especially at a place like Butler. I mean, granted, probably gonna have a GM whatever in place, but if you hire a guy like Norred, the staff you hire next to him, the assistants become that much more important. Like you need guys who have experience at the college level. You would need to find someone, and that would just be so much more important with a guy like Norwood, because if not, you're hiring an experienced guy in a league where like we're swimming upstream a bit. Like we haven't been good in a while. You need some sort of relevance. That it's a risk. It's a huge risk, and I don't know if we're in a spot to take that risk.
Yeah, no, I agree. Again, and to your point, Kyle, I just hope that they and again, it might be it might. Don't ask me why. It's a gut feeling. I really do think Grant. I have a lot of faith in Grant. I just think he's done a really good job and promoting the program and doing everything he can. I know like we wish the encore stuff was better, but I think he's done a really good job with at least promoting our brand as best we can, given the size of our program and everything like that. And I think he's like with it enough to understand those things. So I do trust him to make the best hire for us. But I mean, why are we even talking about this? Because we're going to win the next, How many games do we have left? And we're gonna win the next 9. We're gonna win 9 straight, and then win the Big East tournaments, and then we're gonna get a Patrick Ewing contract. So why does it even matter? No, but hi, Michael's dying behind the screen right now. I can see it. Yeah, his life just left his face. Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see this offseason. I mean, I think we're all kind of on the same page. Just really hope that Butler does a thorough job if we cross that road and don't just settle for another Butler hire. That's just I think we got to expand out. So I think Grant will do that, but again, we'll cross that road when we get there. But hey, the season's still going, boys. We still got 9 more games left. So like I said, we got Providence this Wednesday, and we got Marquette this Saturday. Obviously, we've kind of previewed these teams before, but we'll just do it again real quick. Butler, maybe we'll just kind of talk about what we want to see in these games because, again, Butler beat Providence in double OT and Hinkle. Probably one of the most thrilling games that Big East played so far. It was the first game of the season, of the Big East season. They won 113 to 110, beat Marquette. I think it was like, what was that? I can't remember what that score was. I don't have it in front of me. Something to
87-76.
That was close. 87-76. Maybe Michael, obviously we're looking for wins, but maybe what are some things you're looking for in this Providence and Marquette? Just what are some things you want to see Butler do? It could be kind of some changes and stuff that we just talked about as far as like unselfishness and whatnot, but what are you kind of looking forward to, or what are you looking to see in this week against, again, 2 teams that are absolutely beatable, but they're both on the road?
Yeah, the Providence game for me, the one thing I want to see is, I mean, look, they're going to score on us. They have so many different weapons that they put in a ton of ball screens. Fox, they put in a lot of ball screens. Sellers is just a player, but one, play hard. This Providence team is a team that will quit. They have a lot of quit in them. You can make them quit. It happens every game for them where Kim will get upset at the effort. He'll like stomp his foot, whatever, and then he'll put in the walk on. He'll put in Nilovan. And then he plays like 10 minutes, and then they go on a run the other way. And it's like, all right, yeah, you sent a message, Kim. Your team went from down 5 to down 12. Like, good job. So hopefully we can make them do that. If Nilovan doesn't play a minute in this game, it tells you that we're soft. So he better get some action. That's number 1. Number 2, run some sets. Just like get some more off-ball movement going. This Providence team plays absolutely zero defense. You want to know why we're 10th in defense in Big East play? It's because they're 11th. They're 11th. They don't guard anything. They couldn't guard a parked car. They don't force turnovers. You can get wide open 3-point looks against them. Opposing teams in Big East play are shooting 38.3% against them in Big East play. Move the ball, share the sugar. You'll get 10-toe threes. Hit them. Those would be the 2 main things for me. If they outscore us, they have like more stars, whatever. If Sellers goes off, if Fox goes crazy, whatever. If that happens, I'll be able to live with it. Maybe. If we can't score on them and Nilovan doesn't see the damn court, I'm gonna plot.
The other thing to your point, I really hope that we talk about movement. Like we torched them with backdoor cuts, Kaiser. Oh, real quick. I want to say one thing back to the original games. It was good to see Kaiser get a good game. I know we lost to Georgetown, but it was good to see him getting some buckets. It sucks that when he finally comes back again that Ajayi disappeared. Because I think we've been all waiting for like a third scorer or like a third player to like join the crew, and of course couldn't make it all happen. But Kaiser killed Providence on backdoor cuts in that first game, so I hope that we see a ton of that. To your point, they are just not good at defense. But yeah, looking at that as well. Kyle, how about you in the Providence game?
Yeah, I mean, I think similar. I think that it's at home, right? Even if it's on a Wednesday and their season is more over than ours is. And they're, for as much as most Butler fans are out on the current coaching staff, their fans are even more out on theirs. And I still think that place can get in a bit of even if it's a smaller crowd, can get in a bit of a frenzy if they go on a run. Keep momentum when you have it. I mean, we've talked about this before. Just don't throw away momentum. We're going to have a time in the first half where we're up if we go down early, we get it to 2, we go 7 on a run and we get it to 2, or we're up and we're on a 5-0 run and it's at 8-point lead. Just don't play smart, understand that is a team that thrives off momentum, emotion, because they're poorly coached. Just to be honest, they play very emotionally, that Providence team. It's a team that is very easily outcoached. I think we still can outcoach them, even we're talking about our worries about our coaching. I think that they have a lot of talent. We'll see if Jason Edwards plays. He was a real problem for us in the first game that we played. I mean, he just made a bunch of shots, to be fair, but they were open shots. So I also think we didn't guard Jalen Sellers really at all in that first time we played them. He got downhill at will. So there's got to be some sort of counter to that. I might get, well, I'm sure you know how Providence Twitter is. If a Providence fan does listen to this and hears this, I'm sure they'll send this clip and I'll get Bents in the comment section. I don't see what everyone else sees in Stephon Vox. Um, I just don't. I think he's good, but like everyone thinks he's like this. Like I think Jameer Jones and Sellers are easily the two best players on that team. I think Vox is fine. He takes so many dumb shots, and I'm fine with letting him take them.
He's a cone defensively.
He,
He's a cone. He's a
he's a
cone.
he's a cone, and also he'll just be like he has taken. Honestly, I think out of all of the Big East, I've watched most teams play all their Big East games this year, and he probably has about a third to a half of the "what the hell are you doing" shots.
It
That
boggles my mind that Kim has a tight leash on Jameer Jones and lets Fox do whatever he wants. It makes
yeah,
no sense. Jones
I,
is their best player.
yeah. Listen. I'm not trying to be he's a talented player. But I don't really see what people seem to see in Stephon Vox. I think ultimately, I think the two guys that if Kim utilizes, it's going to be really tough for us is Jameer Jones and Jalen Sellers. I think those are by far two best players. Can we bottle them up defensively? Probably not. We kind of have to hope that we can outscore those two guys, and also that Kim doesn't use them properly. So, my hope is already fulfilled there. But I think that it's a game we can win. I don't care it's at their place. I don't think we'll be favored. Because it's at their place, we'll probably be 3.5, 2.5 point underdogs. We'll see. And that's probably about right. So yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, Vox, and he had a good last game against Nova, but like you take that out. I remember I was saying that in the group chat. I was like, he's a volume guy. Like he's scoring points, but 4 for 14, 3 for 14. Like he is shooting 40. He's a 40% field goal percentage after his 10 for 18 performance against Nova. Like he's volume. Like there's guys that'll put up like big numbers if they shoot like 100 times. Vox strikes me as one of those guys, and he is a cone on defense. I'm not impressed. He's definitely not. Watch now, he's gonna put 40 on us, but he's
Oh,
definitely.
that's so possible, especially with how we
Yeah.
defend ball screens.
Oh,
Oh,
100%. Yeah, and because he was bad. He was bad against us that first game. He missed a ton of shit. He didn't make his first three, I think, until like the second half, or like it was like late in the first or something. So, but
one
yeah,
of two
and
against us.
what was he?
He was the reason we won that game.
Yeah, he missed a lot of shots, and he missed that free throw to go ahead. It ended up being tied then or whatever. But anyway, and then so again, a game you hope you can win. Definitely think you can win. It's just we could definitely also lose. So it's
These next two games are going to be tight spreads. And they're going to be games that we can win when we can also lose. I understand that we all feel a certain way about the coaching staff. I still don't want to be miserable. I think that if we go on the road and lose two games this week, we could see the Butler basketball community in a spot that it's really never been. And the Laval years happened, but I'm just thinking ahead about Saturday evening after two straight losses on the road to Marquette.
let's put it this way. I don't care. I don't. He's not. That is not saving his job by us like finishing like 18 and 30. Like he's not saving his job that way. Like you have to like we have to make the tournament. Like that's just a fact. Please fucking win some games. Like I don't want to be miserable. I like winning games. I even if we end up being mid, I don't care. Please, dear God, Kyle, I'll be miserable, man. Please, please, just like a 4-game losing streak. I will. I mean, I could barely log on right now without wanting to cry. So,
Well, then after Marquette at home, we have after Marquette on the road, we have
we
UConn
got
again.
UConn, easy peasy. It's at
Yeah.
home. Good luck early.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can
Okay.
beat Providence. The Marquette game scares me. I don't know.
Yeah. So I was going to say, next up is Marquette. Marquette has been playing much better as of late. I mean, the record won't reflect that, but they definitely have been competing better. I think Parham's come on really well lately. Have you seen that stat, by the way, where he had 1 dunk in non-conference, but has had like 15 in the past? Like what? How does that? I genuinely don't understand that. I'm like, it seems like dunking is something that like just would organically happen from time to time. Like it would, like you don't even have to be like anything. Like you're just gonna get a lob or something. Like like or you get a tip in or something. How does that happen? Like that's crazy. He's like 6'9", right? Something like that. Like Parham 6'8". So like I think he's come on really well. Obviously, Nigel James is really freaking good. Yeah, that game definitely. That day. I don't think we'll pull a Creighton. That was awful. My God. Talk about a team that's you want to talk about Butler dying. Holy crap! Creighton looks like they forgot how to play basketball. Like we're losing, but like they're like losing. Like it's like kind of scary. Well, they lose by 30 there tonight.
24.
24. Okay. They pulled it close. There you go. Yeah, so I guess Marquette, Mike, what are you looking for in that one too, since we probably went to a pod before that one?
In the first game against Marquette, I don't know. I mean Marquette kept it really close with us. They just missed all of their outside shots. They got a lot of open looks that they missed. Don't let them get them any open looks. That would be my main thing. James was James. Like I mean, I feel like he was pretty good in the first one. He's going to be good in the next one again. But yeah, do whatever you can to stop Parham. I don't want Royce Parham going off. Ben Gold's just largely a perimeter player. That's the thing. We've defended the perimeter really poorly with our bigs, both of them. Just if they can find a way to mitigate that fact, whether it's going to that 1-3-1 zone we've gone to a bunch, whether it's just hedging and making their ball handlers pass and making their bigs be playmakers rather than just set up shooters, rotating weak side, whatever. That's this one's more of a defensive game for me. Just Marquette's not a team that should blitz you offensively. They're really like James will get his, but like the rest of those guys are just dudes. Don't get blitzed offensively. Find ways to have answers for bigs on the perimeter. Those would be my two things.
Yep. Kyle, how about you?
Yeah, I mean, I think that they are. I really was impressed with Parham and James at Hinkle, as you said. I'd echo everything Michael says, and I'd also echo that I think that there's some guys on Marquette that I'm just to echo and kind of emphasize. If Demarius Owens and Ben Golds and Adrian Stevens are going to beat us, let him beat us. They've got Nigel James is their win condition right now. I cannot speak as highly enough of the guy. He's ridiculous. We'll see if he sticks around at Marquette next year. If not, he will literally have his choice of anywhere in the country to go. I think he'll probably stick around, but I think that he's their win condition. He's their offense right now. He's everything so throw a lot at him, throw ball screens at him. Don't let him beat you. And if they're role players who really shouldn't be playing a ton in the Big East beat you, they beat you. And it's their crowd for as mid as they've been this year is still fine, just like Providence. And it's also National Marquette Day, that concocted bullshit holiday. And they'll have a good crowd. So will Providence. And so, try to not have momentum swing too far in their direction and just lose it horribly. Try to have a shot there at the end. And both these games, frankly, will be close spreads, and I think they should both be. I think theoretically these both will probably be pretty close games.
The one
That
thing
they're
with Marquette for me, real quick, is Providence. I mentioned they have a lot of quit. There are a lot of teams that you can, especially if like you've had the season Marquette has. Most teams would fold. Marquette has not folded. Those guys still like they're still bought in. They still believe, and they're playing really hard. They'll be the first to the floor for the first couple loose balls. Like that team is not quit by any means, and they've had a horrible season. They're still there.
Yeah, no, I mean, props to Shaka with that. I mean, he definitely has kept that group together for sure. And you have to hope that this Butler group doesn't
They stayed.
doesn't let that happen. But which at least from reactions I've seen, it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. But
But if you go down 12, right?
yeah, no, 100%. The Marquette game, to your point, Michael, they just missed. I mean, I remember at the end of that game, they had so many wide open threes, and they just kept missing them. And I was like, oh, thank God. I will say that was also another game that we've kind of been talking about where there was like 10 chances to put our foot on their neck, and we just would not do it. Like they're just one of those where like we would go up like 9 and you had like 8 or 7, you had a chance to like just end them 2 seconds. So like I do think that we were home, but I do think we had a lot of chances to really blow that one open. Props to Marquette for not letting that happen. So like I do think Kyle took my point for me, National Marquette Day. So that's that might be like the biggest thing that scares me because they're going to be amped up for that game, even though there's really no reason to be. So I think that's going to be a bigger crowd than usual. Maybe that gives them some nerves. That could be good for us, but yeah. So I don't know. And again, I for some reason it's just a weird hunch. And actually, there was those stats that Harkins gave us. Sometimes it feels like we play better away. I don't know. Like SMU barely lost, Creighton barely lost, won those neutral games. I know like we lost against like the good teams like St. John's and stuff, but like won at Seton Hall. Like
we got blown out, but I thought we played well in the UConn game at UConn.
I know we just missed every open shot possible. So like it's weird. I don't know if it's like just the pressure of Hink. Like I don't really know, or maybe it's just something. But like it does feel for some reason like we play better on the road. So I think there actually are some statistics to actually back that up. So who knows? But anyway, this has been probably the longest pod we've done in a while. Covered a lot of stuff. But anyway, so yeah. So again, 2 more games this week. Wednesday and Saturday, Providence Marquette. Dogs trying to break a 2-game losing streak. I know it was a depressing week last week, but I don't care how bad we look, how good we look. I will dogs till I die. So as always, go Dogs.